Live from Bear Country, here is Mr. Watts.
Good afternoon, Bear Country. This is your Principal, Mr. Watts, with this week's rendition of Live from Bear Country. I want to start out with some important news for seniors. So Senior Sunset will be held on June 2nd, 7:30 p.m. at the beautiful Frank Barley Stadium. You must RSVP on our own school's website to be a part of the Senior Sunset. Masks and social distancing are required. No outside food or drinks are going to be allowed, so you can't bring things into the stadium. However, snacks will be provided. Bring your blankets or lawn chairs to be able to sit. The movie is going to start at 8:15. So senior checkout, let's talk about that for a second. June 1st and June 2nd, out in front of the school from 8 a.m. until 1 p.m., you come into the campus through the center hallway gates, and that area that's out in front of the library will have lines set up to where you can come and you can check out for your senior debt and things like that. So typically you're going to bring back any textbook you have, your Chromebooks, any school uniforms if you're an athlete that you haven't done. You're going to be able to also in that area, those seniors who we're going to reach out to here real soon, who have won CSF awards, Biliteracy Seal awards, early college medals, those students will be notified, and there'll be a table there also where you can pick up those items as well. What'll happen is you will process in, return all of those things, and if you have any debt that's owed, you'll be able to move right on through that area, around the corner, and into the finance office to be able to reconcile any of those debts so that you would be a viable graduate and eligible for the ceremony and your diploma. Summer school. Summer school is going to be a 6-week-long affair that starts on June the 14th. We'll be running 2 sessions. So the first session or first semester will run June 14th through July 2nd, which is 3 weeks. Something a little quirky about this year is the second session won't start until Tuesday. The reason for that is the 4th of July lands on a Sunday this year, and so Monday is 4th of July observance day for the high school. So no school on Monday, July the 5th. However, July the 6th will start the second semester of summer school, which runs until July the 23rd. Also, we're this year for the first time going to run another session, which we're going to call the PM session. So normal summer school or AM session runs from 7:30 to 12 o'clock. And then the PM session will start at 12:15. And there's only a few courses that are being offered then, but it'll run from 12:15 to 4:45. So this year, summer school a little bit different. Had a lot of students ask me about transportation. The transportation department at the Kern High School District is putting together what routes they're going to run for summer school to make those available to students. So for more information on routes and the bus schedule, go to the Kern High website. And the Kern High website, at the top tab, it says resources, toggle down to Arvin High School, and you would open up that document. But a little word of caution, that schedule is not going to be in place probably until about a week before summer school starts. So I wouldn't even look there until June the 7th and look for the one that says summer bus schedule. If you go now, you're going to get the bus schedule we're currently running for school. So don't want any confusion there. So wait till about June 7th, go onto the website and look for the summer school transportation schedule. In this week's version of Ask the Principal, I want to start out by speaking to Delmi Franco's question she had last time about if I could change one thing about Arvin High, what would it be and why? So I had a 2-part response to that. If you remember, part 1 was about rebuilding our school culture. Since we've all been away for a year and a half, the what's your plan element to start 21-22. So part 2 of that, the response, and rebuilding our school's culture is to have a laser focus on infusing our Bear Pride elements into our daily classroom culture. So basically to be able for students to determine, for them to be able to do that in determining their what's your plan, we must build incrementally an educational structure as well as cultural foundation utilizing the 5 elements of pride. So what I mean by that is, how do I show pride? Well, the first element, participation, would be showing participation daily in each of your teacher's classroom, following their expectations, doing the best that you can do. The R, or responsibility element, being an active learner in each of your classes and being sure to complete the day's work, and being responsible in working with your teachers to do the best you can do for your education. I is for integrity. Integrity, another way of saying that, is just doing the right thing for yourself and others in all that you do within the classroom, your behaviors on campus, and things such as that. The D of pride would be determination. So despite the obstacles you may now face due to the challenges associated with distance learning and how difficult that was for some students, be determined and employ grit in getting yourself back on track and comfortable with the daily routines of being in class. I mean, if we're being honest, all of us are kind of out of our lane with comfort. We've lost our rhythm. We've lost our mojo a little bit because of this weird environment. So can't wait till next fall when we're back in school, we're back in the classroom to rebuild the culture and rebuild some sense of normalcy so that you guys can get yourselves back on track and get soaring again towards your careers. Finally, the E for empathy is by being compassionate and understanding towards your teachers, your peers, as we transition back to school in the fall. Next year, although it may be a little bit of a challenge, should prove to be a year that we can all focus on rebuilding the school's culture and getting it back on campus and building it better and stronger than it ever has been before. So this week, that was my part 2 response. So thank you for that question, Delmi. That was an amazing question. This week is Alma Alvarado Prieto asks, why is it that we only get 2 guests for graduation, but it's okay for sports to have more people in the stands? That's a great question, Alma. As I'm speaking to you right now, guidance, the real answer to that is the guidance. The guidance that the state and the CDPH have put before us that we have to abide by. The good news is yesterday that guidance has changed. So we're getting ready to push out on the school website and communicate with our students that now the setup is going to be you can bring 4. And then again, this is CDPH guidance and the Kern High School District coming up with a plan for graduation. So you'll be allowed 4 guests. 2 of them will be able to go with the graduate out onto the field, and the other 2 will go up into the stand. So we'll social distance in the stand to the best of our ability, use both sides of the field, but that has just changed since yesterday afternoon. And so the idea would be there's not going to be any graduation tickets or anything like that. All 4 people and the graduate need to come to the gate at the same time. We confirm that you are a graduate. We release you to the field with the 2 people that are going to go with you, graduate, and the other 2 will be released to go up into the stands to be a spectator and getting to view your special event. So great question, and that's the answer to that question for now. As I sit here, guidance may change again, but for now, we're going to push that communication out to our website as of this afternoon. In this week's segment of celebrations, we have a lot to celebrate. First of all, I want to send a shout out and a congratulations to our boys varsity baseball team who became league champs at Tuesday's game against Golden Valley. Their 11-1 win earned them the first league title since 1995. Great job. Coach Lopez, also a big shout out. He had his 100th career win as a varsity head coach a week ago. Keep up the good work, gentlemen. We'll see you all at the playoffs. Secondly, a big cheer to our varsity girls soccer team who kicked off playoffs with a 20-0 win against Firebaugh a few weeks ago. On Wednesday evening, the team will take on Fraser Mountain, which is this evening, in the semifinals starting at 6 p.m. Go Lady Bears. Our varsity boys tennis team had an outstanding season by finishing up their first round of playoffs by winning to be able to move on to Kingsburg, who was the number 2 seed. So in the Division IV semifinals, which happened this past Monday. Unfortunately, Kingsburg won the match, But our tennis team had a very successful year, making it all the way to the Central Valley semifinals, and did a great job of representing AHS. Good job, boys tennis team. And lastly, our varsity girls basketball team is doing outstanding as well. They wrapped up their league season, finishing 8-0 for the regular season. Stay tuned for playoff information, as the seeding committee will be mapping out the playoff schedule this coming weekend. We hope to be seeded high enough to host several home games, so stay tuned and go Lady Bears.